Celebrity TV therapist Laura Berman has revealed that her teenage son died of a deadly drug overdose on Sunday. She shared this emotional post on Instagram. It says this: "My beautiful boy is gone. 16 years old, sheltering at home. A drug dealer connected with him on Snapchat and gave him fentanyl-laced Xanax or Percocet. Toxicology will tell, and he overdosed in his room." Still trying to wrap my head around that. Berman is asking Snapchat to work with police on this investigation, and Snapchat says it is committed to working with law enforcement in this case, and that it has zero tolerance for anyone using its platform for illegal purposes. Snapchat also said it's constantly improving technology to detect drug-related activity so that we can intervene proactively. Laura Berman and her husband, Samuel Chapman, join us now to discuss. First, Laura and Sam, I just want to say I am so sorry to hear about your son's death. I couldn't believe it when I heard the news yesterday. And I can't imagine, I really can't imagine the pain that the two of you are feeling. This is still so raw and so fresh. Now, I marvel that you're sitting here with us today because many parents, myself included, be in the fetal position, would be hard to sit upright. How and why did you decide you want to share this story? And I also think nobody knows what they'll do until they're in a position like this. Laura, again, I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Gayle. I would have assumed I was, and I have been most of the time, in a fetal position. Honestly, I just, out of complete helplessness and rage, I needed to do something. So I just posted on my social media, and, the outpouring of love and support and from platforms like this has really meant the world. And at first, I just said no. And then as the requests kept coming to get this story out, I figured Sammy must have something to do with this. And if I can use what happened to him to just save one life, that helps, at least, if not with the grief, with the helplessness.
Yeah, you said in your post, Laura, we watched him so closely. Straight A student, getting ready for college, experimentation gone bad. He got the drugs delivered to his house. Sam, did your son have a known drug problem? Did you suspect that he was using drugs at all?
Well, he'd experimented like many teens with marijuana, but never a hard drug had crossed the threshold of our home as far as we knew. Mm-hmm. So this was a total shock, and I don't think that's the right word when you walk in and you find your son dead on the floor. I wish it were me.
Oh, my gosh. How did you know that he got the drugs from Snapchat? I didn't even know that's possible. Help me understand, what exactly does that mean?
I didn't know this was possible either. I thought it was a place, where kids hang out with other kids and maybe do a couple of, risque things with each other because of the way the app is designed to disappear as each post is seen. But his friend was kind enough, as I was trying to figure out what happened, his friend was kind enough to share a screenshot that our son had sent him of a drug dealer that he had connected with, or had connected with him on Snapchat, who, had created a menu and had a Twitter and a Snapchat handle to reach him and would deliver it to your door. So, on one of his little quick walks around the neighborhood to get some air between classes, he must have, met a dealer and is outside our home and brought it into the house that way.
And we all think Snapchat is the place for kids to do what they want to do because it's sweet where other kids are. But the reason the kids are there is because of the functionality that allows things to be secret. But a screen grab has whatever you do on Snapchat tag you for the rest of your life. And it's turned into a place where kids bully and sext and drug dealers find them. And that means it's dangerous.
You said you think it was fentanyl laced with something. Was he in any kind of pain that he'd be taking these drugs to begin with? Or do you think he knew what he was taking?
No, he had no idea. He was so careful about his health. He researched everything always. He had so many dreams and so many plans. He was getting ready to apply to college this year, or the end of this year. He wanted to go to New York University. He wanted to travel the world. I mean, he had so many plans, and also knew the risks of drugs and fentanyl, and we talked about it so much. Mm-hmm. And what I learned from the police is there is a rash of deaths around the country, as well as especially in Los Angeles of, kids doing this stupid experimentation, not realizing that their drugs are being laced with fentanyl, because from the dealer's perspective, that makes them more addicted. So it's better for business, but it causes, overdose so easily, and death, especially in kids whose bodies can't handle it.
Yeah. Sam, in Laura's post, she said, we were watching him closely. You said you knew that he was taking marijuana or smoking marijuana. Had you had any discussion with him? Laura touched on it briefly, about you were worried about him getting into trouble? Because I think all these parents who are sitting there watching, your kids are in their room, you think you know what your kids are doing, you think, okay, he's doing some stuff that we don't approve of, but we don't think he's doing that. And so I'm trying to figure out, what is the message for parents today? Did you have any suspicion whatsoever that maybe he's getting into something that's a lot more serious than he realizes, Sam?
We did not. We were concerned because of the marijuana, so we would check on him every hour and make sure things weren't happening. But the real message to parents is it's work to check on your kids' social media, and most of us don't do it. We don't even know how to get onto their devices, most of us, much less are we monitoring what they're doing. And that's a life or death miss for us.
Yeah, and what, have you had any conversations with Snapchat? We read the statement. Have you all reached out to them directly? What do you want them to do?
The police are the ones who reach out, and when they reach out to Snapchat, they do not get help. Snapchat has pledged help publicly and said nothing to us. They're just doing it in a press release. And we're concerned that the Santa Monica police tell us that both Snapchat and Twitter do not help them when there's an investigation.
All right.
The most they're willing to do is bring down a profile.
And then
Laura and
the dealer
Sam.
just put a new one.
Laura and Sam, we thank you so much. I'm sorry we have to go. I really appreciate you. I'm in awe, really, that you're here. But I think that you will help many people today. And again, I'm so sorry for the loss of your son.
Thank you, Gayle.
Thank you for taking the time.